Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Tweeks Cycles video. Today I'm here with Nick Craig from Scott Bikes, and we're going to be looking through the new 2022 Scott Spark, which is a brand new design for this year, and there's an awful lot to talk about. So Nick, why don't you give us a little bit more info about the new bike?
So with the new bike, the modern World Cup courses, 120mm travel is the need for, rock gardens, let's say at Hadley in London. So World Cup for Kate Courtney and Nino Schurter. Demands have got more aggressive course, so we need a more aggressive bike. Modern geometry, so steeper seat angle, longer top tube with a shorter stem. That works really well with the new slacker head angle. So what you're looking at here on the RC bike is the 67.2 head angle. At the same time, this bike's so capable for this weekend, I'm going to go trail riding and I can quite simply undo this, flip the top cup 180 degrees, rotate the lower cup 180 degrees, and I've got a 66-degree head angle.
Yeah, which is really good, to see that sort of influence on a cross-country race bike. I mean, a 66-degree head angle is pretty much what we'd be seeing on enduro bikes from 4 or 5 years ago. So to see that on such a lightweight but capable bike as this is really good. And obviously with the longer travel version of the Spark, the DC effectively, it goes even slacker still with that 130mm fork. So you've got that option to go down that route if you wanted an even more capable bike that's still light enough to use as a race bike on the weekends if you wanted to. Another key feature, obviously, that Scott have done for this year, just for the Spark for now, is moving to the integrated sort of shock design, which is a really neat feature that sort of hides the shock completely within the frame. But there's some really neat and practical features that mean that it's not actually as complicated as it actually sounds.
No, there's a really easy hatch here where you can access the shock. You can add or take away air. You can check your sag. So when you're setting the bike up initially, you've got a sag meter here. And if you want to check what's going on inside, you want to see where the O-ring sits and see if you're getting through all of your travel. It's quite simple just to push the rubber off and have a look at the shock inside.
Yeah, great. And obviously that shock and the fork as well are also hooked up to Scott's twin lock system. Now this has been a staple of Scott's range for certainly as long as I can remember, going back an awful long time. But it's been refined for this year, so it's now a much neater system than it has been in previous years.
Yeah, so what they've done is they've made it a lot more sensitive, is one key to it. So in the position it's in here, we've got 120mm front and rear travel. One click on there and we're in TC mode, so the bike will sit up in a higher sag position, great for climbing. Pushing it through to full lockout, if you press that, it comes back to full travel. So you've got 3 options. What you'll find as well is we haven't got a dropper seat post on this model, but models that have a dropper will have a 3rd lever. So you'll have 3 levers. You can do your twin lock lever and you can also do your dropper at the same time. One of the key features that was needed was to fit a 2.4 tyre with clearance. At the same time, running a bigger chainring, obviously, the Eagle drive chains have huge sprockets, and one of the things Nino's really key and focuses on is keeping a straighter chain line. He'll work out which chainring size he needs to be in which sprocket, so that he's spending more time in a straighter line and also less friction from a bigger chainring and a bigger sprocket.
Which is all about the efficiency, which when you are a racer like Nino that is at the very top level, it's all about those minuscule gains, and that's got to come from the bike at the end of the day. The rider can do as much as they can, but they want to make sure that the bike is as efficient as possible. Another neat feature on the Spark is the integration. Now we are seeing this a lot more, particularly in the road bike side of things. So it is nice to see Scott bringing that into the mountain bike end of the spectrum as well, with really neat cable integration, which not only makes the bike look a lot neater, but it just looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, with the twin lock lever, there's a few cables going on here. What's really nice, if you look closely at these cables, these are a Jaguar 3mm cable. They're so neat and they're so flexible. That allows us to feed them in through the headset and down through the frame. So it works really, really well, and it makes the whole bike look a lot tidier.
Yeah, it looks a lot tidier and a lot quieter as well. I mean, that's one thing that we really don't like is cables rattling around. So this system, really keeps everything nice and neatly organised, and it's still relatively easy to work on as well, which is a big thing that Scott have focused on, is making this bike very user-friendly.
Yeah, super simple.
So as well as the RC model that we've got here, there is also the DC for the Spark, or Downcountry. It's quite a hip term at the moment, with the longer travel fork and also different cockpit and tyre setup as well, just to make the bike a little bit more capable. So instead of this flat bar, which is 740mm wide, it's a mini rise 760mm bar as well on those bikes, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've got different options. All the bikes on the DC trail version are all 0. So we don't have that negativity, so it's really quite simple.
Obviously, we talked about the bar and stem setup, and it's not quite as radical as what the likes of Nino are running with his like crazy minus 25 degree stem and much narrower sort of bars. So is that a conscious decision from Scott that they want to make a bike that can be used with those crazy, you know, sort of personalised setups, but then also for the end consumer as well, you know, who is just the everyday sort of rider?
Yeah, we're totally aware it needs to be made for everybody. We want everyone to be comfortable on this bike. And particularly Nino rides, like you said, his handlebars are down here. So they are available aftermarket, so you can buy the Nino bar if you think you can get that low.
Yeah, if you're flexible enough to get into that crazy attacking position that Nino is known for. And it's fair to say the guy can still ride a bike, even though his cockpit setup is a bit strange, by my standards anyway. He can still throw a bike around better than pretty much anybody else on the planet, which is really, really impressive to see. Speaking of seeing how it gets on the trail, let's go and see how the bike performs.
And this is where the spark really starts to become a bit more fun on the descents and on the twisty stuff. It's got such a nice neutral kind of ride position. It's not too head down, it's not too relaxed. You know, so you can really attack the trail nicely, take on the jumps, squash them, pump them, whatever you want to do, it'll do it. The suspension's supple enough to take on those rock gardens with ease as well. I mean, no, it's not an enduro bike, but for a little cross-country whippet, it's amazing. And you just get on the power. And even when it's pretty cut up and rough like this, it's just so capable for cross-country bike. It's easy to see why Nino Schurter likes it so much and can throw those crazy shapes that only he can. Because this is just a fun bike. And I've loved riding it today. It's been absolutely phenomenal to ride. Fast, fun, you want to go quickly, anywhere, and pretty much everywhere. The Scott Spark RC and the 900 DC are just well up to the job. So we've just got back from a quick ride around Llandegla with Nick on the brand new Spark RC, and it's been a really good ride, hasn't it, Nick?
Yeah, thanks for that. I've calling that work, are we? What a great day out.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a good work day out. But yeah, the bike has been mega. It's really fun to ride, super fast and efficient on the climbs. That twin lock system really does give it an efficiency that I think is unrivaled in this category. And it's still got enough technical chops to really smash it when it comes to the descents as well. And we've had some fun on the single track as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all in the next video.